Hello everyone. I say everyone being, 4.5 people? But I'll make this segment quick. This video is dedicated to the memory of Paul of Mitten Squad, who on December 14th, 2023, passed away. He was one of my personal favorite YouTubers, and I wanted to make some sort of tribute to him. With that tribute being this video. I'm gonna keep it lighthearted, just see if I can make you laugh along the way. And let's just get right into this.
Welcome to Fallout New Vegas. A phenomenal game with a wide variety of ways to play. Want to turn a man into little midnight snacks? Go for it. Or maybe cosplaying as a Western is more your fancy. The limit is your imagination. So, using my imagination, I decided what better way to play than to earn my weapons. Can you beat Fallout New Vegas with only gifted weapons? The rules are as follows. I can only damage enemies with weapons that an NPC gave me. This does not include buying weapons, as that would be too easy. So if I want to use something other than the Nerf gun Sunny Smiles gives you, I'll have to work for it. And that concludes the rules. Another thing worth noting is that I am a medically diagnosed dumbass, and this is my second ever playthrough of New Vegas. We will see how this screws me over in due time. We begin after Doc Mitchell pulled me straight out of hell and plopped me back onto Earth. Hopefully this won't take too long. The devil wasn't near done with me. The good doctor asked me my name, and I gave him the most creative, most mature name possible. Scrimbly Binkus. My special stats were whatever this is. I put my tag skills as Speech, Barter, and Lockpick, and finally chose Good-Natured and Wild Wasteland as my perks. Good-Natured for the boost to Speech and Barter, and Wild Wasteland because, fuck it, sure, I don't need anything useful. The main skills I'm putting points into are Speech, Barter, and Lockpick. Speech because I plan on siding with the NCR, and I don't want to deal with the Legate. Barter for a weapon, and Lockpick. I'll just tell you now, Lockpick was a mistake. I'll get to why later. With all that done, my monstrosity can be released into the world. My first stop is to Chet to sell the shit I can't use. Then immediately to Sunny Smiles to get my first weapon, the Varmint Rifle. Seeing as it's baby's first gun, it doesn't really do much. To earn this rifle, I shot some bottles. An absolute waste of booze. Or maybe the bottles were empty. I don't remember. Once that was done, I declined Sunny's offer to do her dirty work and started the first actual quest in Goodsprings. I forgot that skipping it was an option and just tried to make it quick. Talked to Ringo about fighting off the powder gangers, then recruit Sunny Smiles, Trudy, and Chet. When I went to go get extra stim packs from Doc Mitchell, I tried to put a bucket on his head for shits and giggles, but discovered something terrifying. The bucket phased right through him. Doc Mitchell is either a figment of mine and everyone else's imagination, or he is simply on another plane of existence. Maybe, just maybe, Doc Mitchell is God himself, which would explain how he brought me back from the dead. Once my existential crisis was over, Goodsprings pissed off the powder gangers, but for some reason they got pissed off at me too. I only killed like 2 or 3 of them. With that done, my next stop was Prim. First things first, the convicts must feel my wrath. They tried to run, but by using the ancient technique of pressing my face into theirs and vatsing them to death, there was nowhere in the Mojave where they could hide. Fun fact, this is the strat I will use for the majority of this playthrough. I saved Deputy Beagle from the convicts, but didn't bother to see if he made it out alive. Prim needed a new sheriff, so bada bing bada boom, Prim is now NCR territory. I leveled up along the way, and took Confirmed Bachelor as my perk to be more as my true self. I fought some jackals on my way to Nipton, and then ran into who is, in my opinion, the most annoying motherfucker in the entire game, Oliver Swanick. Even though you don't talk to him for long, he still infuriates me. He had to die, but I was low on ammo. I decided that even if it took every bullet I had, it would be a worthy kill. It only took 1 shot. I talked to Vulpus in Nipton, and went back to the Mojave outpost to tell the NCR about all the good the Legion was doing. They were doing good in my eyes. And now begins the long trek to the Strip. Nothing too interesting happened along the way. I flirted with Manny Vargas, but other than that, it was just buying and killing shit. Before entering the Strip, I waltzed into Camp McCarran wearing some NCR armor I borrowed from Prim to get my second weapon, this machine. That's what it's called. This machine.
Remember when I said I was a medically diagnosed dumbass? Yeah, this is just one instance where that comes into play. To get this machine, you need to rat out one Sergeant Contreras by hacking a terminal, downloading a supply manifest, and proving that he has been doing big no-nos with the supplies. I, however, could not hack the terminal, because in my infinite Jeremy Clarkson-level genius, I put my points into lockpick, thinking that would let me hack shit. Spoiler alert, science is what lets you hack shit. So this machine had to wait. After realizing my brain was smooth, I scurried back through Camp McCarran and finally entered the strip. Victor jump-scared me at the door to let me know that Mr. House wanted to see me. And like a good guest, I ignored him. My first stop was the Tops, not only to fuel my crippling gambling addiction, but also to talk to Tommy Tornini. Tommy Boy here gives you some of his cards to invite people to perform at his theater. However, there is only one person I care or know about, the Lonesome Drifter. I found him, gave him the card, and convinced him that I deserve some sort of payment for giving him this amazing opportunity. Here we get our actual second weapon, the mysterious Magnum, a pistol with its own jingle. That almost rhymed. Let's pretend it did. This pistol was a massive upgrade from the varmint rifle, and he even gave me some ammo. How nice. Armed with my new pistol, I returned to Camp McCarran to improve my reputation with the NCR, and to level up my big brain science knowledge. I started with convincing Corporal Betsy to go see a doctor, but did not have the speech or medicine required to do so, so I gave up and started ransacking their camp. Once my karma was in the negatives, I talked to the colonel about what to do. He said that one of his rangers hadn't returned from Vault 3, where a bunch of fiends were hanging out, so he sent me to deal with it. I snuck into the vault and fought my way through the fiends inside. Lucky for me, some of them used .44 Magnums, so they were supplying their own death. I leveled up and straight up executed the head fiend motor runner and his mutts. With the ranger safe and my science of 50, I can finally hack that terminal. Here is where my second instance of dumbassery comes in. Yes, I can attempt to hack the terminal, but I failed and got locked out. After waiting a bit and trying again, I realized I was locked out permanently. And I did not save beforehand. I was left with a choice. Do I give up on this machine, or do I lose an hour of progress to try again? I chose the latter and reloaded a save. I went and dealt with the fiends again, executed Motor Runner again, and got my science back up to 50. Also took Bloody Mess as my perk. Take 2 on the terminal. I made sure to save beforehand and did it first try. I finally hacked the shit. I delivered the proof of Sergeant Contreras doing no-nos with the supplies and finally got this machine. My trinity of guns is complete, mainly because I did not research any others. Afterwards, I helped Lieutenant Boyd by beating a Legion soldier into submission, gaining me even more favor with the NCR, all according to plan. Next, Boyd informed me of some suspicious activity going on in some tower in the camp. I tried to help, but just like with Corporal Betsy, I got stuck and gave up. Only this time I never came back. Kinda like my dad, wherever he is. I moved on to doing a bounty for Major Daughtry. The target was a fiend named Cook, the man responsible for Corporal Betsy needing to see a doctor. If you know, you know. I found him and his goons somewheres nearby, and killed him last. He needed to know that he could change nothing, and that he was next. After I collected the bounty for Cook's discombobulated head, I headed back to the Tops for more sweet gambling. Unfortunately, the people in the Tops didn't like me winning all their money, and they banned me. They will pay for this mistake. I returned 2 seconds later to collect my payment. I shot up the men who rejected me, and made my way to Benny. I didn't even try talking to him. All I needed was the platinum chip, and Benny's body collapsing in on itself made everything all the better. Once I had the platinum chip in hand, Vulpus informed me that Caesar knows of my existence, and I leveled up, taking Gunslinger as my perk. I gave the platinum chip to Mr. House, and he said something I never expected. He was impressed with me? Never have I met someone with such low expectations. Mr. House took me down to his basement to show me how his Securitrons could fuck me if I dare betray him. So, for no particular reason, I decided to side with Mr. House instead of the NCR. Mr. House's first mission for me took me to Fortification Hill, right smack dab in the middle of Caesar's camp. I grabbed some stim packs and ammo before leaving and made my way to Cottonwood Cove.
Here we find more proof that when I was a baby, I was dropped on my head several times. I don't know if I forgot to hit record or just deleted it by accident, but I could not find any footage doing this quest. All I really did was upgrade the Securitrons and give Caesar false hope, so we're not really missing much. Once that was done, Mr. House sent me to deal with the boomers. I'm pretty sure he said kill them. Done. Walking back into the Lucky 38, some science lady proved why Fallout New Vegas is the best game in the series with the best line I've ever read. Dr. Scrimbly Binkus diagnoses a terminally low discussion of caps in this conversation. My goodness, I love this game. I told Mr. House the boomers went boom, and he sent me to see what the Omertas were up to, since they were acting too good, apparently. I think they were planning on attacking the strip during the second battle of Hoover Dam, but I do not remember how. Anyway, I ratted them out. Next, Mr. House sent me to deal with the Brotherhood of Steel. Simple solution. Blow up the bunker they're hiding in. Done. Afterwards, Mr. House wanted me to protect the president of the NCR, Kimball, who was giving a speech at Hoover Dam. On the way there, I stopped at Boulder City to make some art. The bidding starts at 2 cents, the same price my parents paid when they chose me over all the other kids. My reputation with the NCR was already pretty good, so they didn't question my motives when I wanted to help. I pickpocketed an explosive out of some dude's ass while I was standing right next to him, and I saved the president. One more thing Mr. House needed me to do. He sent me to El Dorado substation to install some override chip. The entrance, however, was guarded by too many NCR troopers. My solution was to find a stealth boy in Goodsprings. When I returned, however, I found out I didn't even need it, since NCR troopers, like humans, need to sleep. Once that was done, it was finally time for the second battle of Hoover Dam, which had to wait. I still hadn't maxed out my speech for the Legate, so I headed over to Repcon test site to complete the quest, Come Fly With Me. However, on the way, the devil decided I had been gone for too long, and he sent the Legion to send me back. They succeeded. Several times. It took some convincing and a pinky promise, but the devil let me stay on Earth for a little while longer. At the test site, I helped some ghouls shoot themselves out of some rockets. I convinced some Nightkin to leave, did some fetch quests, and let the ghouls kill themselves for nothing. Once this was done, I was 1 fucking point short in speech, so it was back to Camp McCairn. I finally convinced Betsy to go see a doctor, finished off Major Daughtry's bounties, and leveled up, maxed out my speech, and told Mr. House I wanted to be done with this. The end was in sight. I booked it over to the control room. I killed one of the heavy troopers guarding the door, and killed the other wearing the armor of his fallen brother. I installed an override chip to give Mr. House control, and spent too long looking for a paper I already had. Finally, I scurried to the Legate's camp, and hit this really nice shot along the way. Next thing I know, it was time to talk to the Legate. But I had a thought. Something that doesn't usually happen. Am I really gonna take the easy way out? All my ancestors are watching, and right now I'm being a bitch. I decided that the Legate must die. So all those points I put in a speech were useless. This took too long. I got penetrated by the Legate and his underlings several times, and most definitely without my consent. At one point I had killed the Legate by pumping myself up with Psycho. However, I died to his remaining guards and had to do it again. Once I took care of the Legate with some sneaking stealth boy shit, I saved and took care of the rest. They tried to run, but the camp was pretty small, so it was pointless. General Oliver burst through the front gate. I told him to surrender. He said no. I said fuck you and attacked, and then I got killed again. We went through that conversation one more time. I hid when I told Oliver to go fuck himself, and I beat Fallout New Vegas with only gifted weapons. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. I wish I could have made it under some better circumstances, but I hope I made some jokes Paul would be proud of. Let me know if I did a good job and if I should maybe keep doing this, or if I should go cry in a corner for the video equivalent of liquid shit I just put out onto the internet. Well, good night, y'all.